Senator Susan O'Keefe. Yes.
Thank you, Minister, for coming to the House and I think presenting in a very clear way the core reasons why the Government will not be accepting this bill. I am reminded as I sit here of a statement I think that was made by the former Minister for Transport, Noel Dempsey, who said, I think it was him, and I hope I'm attributing this correctly, that the business of government should be done as if it were behind a pane of glass. John Bruton.
John Bruton, sorry.
Okay, fine.
Another Meath man, you got me.
Fine. Well, I think it's fair to say that the aspiration was a fine one, and that Senator Crown, in bringing forward this bill, will have had this in mind, as indeed I do myself, as indeed many members of the government, indeed I think all the members of the government have in mind, that as we can aspire to have a pane of glass, if it were at all possible, we would do so. I think for Senator Byrne to say that we're not behaving in any kind of new fashion, that we don't seem to understand that concept. Bear in mind that in 1998 there was a private member's bill brought forward by the Labour Party for the introduction of a register of lobbyists, and indeed it failed. And we find ourselves still standing here in 2011. Only this time it's in the programme for government, and this time there will be the register. I beg.
Times have changed.
Senator O'Keefe, without interruption.
Thank you. The registration of lobbyist bill, which will be brought forward and which I think all members on this side of the House will be pushing, although I don't think we're going to need to push it very hard. I think it will be coming forward. And of course the essence of that is to continue to support free and open access to government, but to do it in a way in which it is properly scrutinised and where there is accountability. And I think the essence of Professor Crown's bill here was in some way to make people accountable. But unfortunately in so doing, it would appear to give us the right to do things that actually we have no right to do currently, and we would not wish to have that right. And I think even to go to committee stage, as Fianna Fáil are suggesting, as my colleague here has said, I don't know, first of all, know how that you would amend it. You'd probably amend it away to a point at which it would be unrecognisable. But even to allow it to go to committee stage perhaps would give some suggestion that somewhere in this House we sort of agree with the idea that we would be allowed in some way, shape or form to make representations to the judiciary, to the DPP or to the Gardaí. And of course that is not the case. We do not want to do that. And therefore that is why, in essence, we have to oppose the bill, even though we absolutely, in the spirit of it, couldn't welcome it more. I hate to oppose anything that actually appears to remove some form of transparency. And I think, as the Minister has said very clearly, that was I don't think that was the intention of this bill, but it happens to be the effect of the bill. And so I would like to say that while we look forward to the introduction of a bill for the registration of lobbyists, it is not the government's intention, I think, here to give ourselves, as parliamentarians, any additional powers of influence, and particularly not the sort of powers which are not legal. Senator Crown, you yourself have spoken about the many people over the years, both here and abroad, in powerful positions who sought to influence decisions and who sought to influence outcomes. And there are many people who would say that that was completely wrong, and they were wrong, and they remain wrong. But to try to correct it with this bill will not assist in any way, shape or form the correction of those wrongs or the correction of any future wrongs. So I would again thank you for allowing us the chance to remind government, if you like, and to remind ourselves of the importance of the commitment that we made in the programme for government to the need for registration of lobbyists, for the continuation of anything that will encourage that pane of glass approach to government, the Freedom of Information Bill as well, but that on this day, unfortunately, we will have to oppose your bill.